Welcome to Chatty Coffee Crew. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Whoa! 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 Get out of here. And the horse you rode in on. Excellent. Apprentice, keep apprenticing whilst we do our important, not suitable for apprentice work. You know why? I'll tell you one day, maybe, when you get to that level. But right now, you are not on it. Apprentice, what are you still doing there? Get out of the way. We're trying to do a show. Jeez. You know, I don't know what helps like where you come from, but apprentices sometimes get in the way here. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chatty Coffee Crew. Hopefully you have your coffee with you. If not, it's not a prerequisite. It's not a requirement, but it is in the name. So whatever you're consuming, whatever you're drinking, if you're still waiting in line at Starbucks, because we know you love to, then sit back, relax, or don't, and hurry up and tell them to make your coffee. We're starting the show. No, don't. We're going to. Anyhow, today you might be saying, well, I clicked on this accidentally. Whoops. Boy, was that a mistake. And you'd probably be entirely right. See you later. All right. Now, for everyone else who is washing dishes, cooking, doing something, they're like, shit, I can't change it, right? Sometimes you get pigeonholed, right? You're stuck sitting through that commercial, okay? And you're like, God damn it. Why'd I click on this to begin with? And, you know, that's your business. But what is everyone's business is the business of YouTube. And by everyone's business, mainly it's the corporation YouTube's and their, affiliates, and the identity that is YouTube's business is their own. But YouTube's business is everyone's business. And by everyone, of course, we mean mainly them. We already stated that. Keep up. If we go regurgitating and reiterating everything 2 or 3 times so that you can understand and comprehend it, it's really going to inhibit the pattern of the show. End it. We'll end it at the end. YouTube has so much offerings and so much to it that when you see a blanketed top 5 YouTube, you think to yourself, this dude's off his rocker. There's no way that he can have a top 5 YouTube. What aspect, what components, what iterations and aspects and components and iterations of YouTube are they going to focus in on? What are they going to pull from? Are you talking the top 5 YouTube of the YouTubers? The top 5 YouTube videos of all time? The top 5 YouTube follies, blunders, fiascos? Well, it could be any of those. And yes, we realize inherently we're technically responsible for putting top 5 YouTube in the title. And whilst you might be saying, oh, if this is clickbait, we're going to be pissed. Not like it's the first time. All right. All we want to preface and outline and lay out there for you is that, yes, we might have been the one that put top 5 YouTube in the description, but the top 5 YouTube is such a blanketed anything, right, pertaining to YouTube, that it could be anything. So, you want your top 5 YouTube videos of all time. We don't have those here. Especially, we didn't make them. Not on this channel. Nope, those are on good channels. Not this one. But they're out there. And it's subjective. No one is going to inherently agree on all of the top 5 videos unless, let's be honest, one of those top 5 video creators makes it says these are the top 5. In which case you have to believe them. Because, believe you me, there's one way to get ahead. It's by just accepting anything that people who, are your managers or, bosses at work, you do what they tell you, and somehow, it's like they stop writing you up. That's a whole nother thing. The point is that you could say top 5 anything pertaining to or related to YouTube, and you would inherently be able to, create and, have such a plethora of information out there because YouTube has been along and has been such a mainstay in the lives of folks, old and young alike, all the way to the aspect of they had so much content appearing on the platform that they had to even generate and make a YouTube Kids. It's almost like the, what is it, the KB toy store or the Toys of the RS, and then they had a Kids of the RS, right? They were doing so much, they had so many overpriced toys. Where are they now, right? I don't know, not here. So Toys R Us, they're like, well, we better expand, and believe you me, this toy business thing isn't paying off. Let's sell kids shit, right? It's like genius. Instead of just clearing an aisle in your store, might as well open an entirely new business endeavor. Nothing like having one aspect of a business that might be thriving in, not full price retail toy market times that you can fall back on. Maybe add a second shelf of, baby products. But who are we? We did not major in business management. Well, I'm sorry, we did manage in business management. We just didn't do so well in the microeconomics class. So we were like, well, college, might as well change our major. It's only been 2.5 years. And so we did. So we went ahead and did like a lot of other collegiate, goers, and went ahead and got a worthless degree like everyone else. So that brings us here where we majored in history, minored in philosophy, and are like, well, if there's one thing we need to fall back on that we learned in college, it's that big old minor we had, philosophy. Subjective. So, anyhow, you talk YouTube, you can pull from all aspects of stuff. The top 5 how-to videos, the top 5 cooking videos, okay? There's so many aspects of it. It's been around for so long. It's been such a mainstay for the young and old alike that you can inherently pull almost any sort of content from it that you would like. You don't believe us? Search something. Well, I'm sorry. Pull up a separate tab, mute this, leave it playing. We kind of need the view. YouTube wants us to have it before they give us money. Fractions of cents at a time. Don't get jelly. We want to get on their payroll. And by get on their payroll, we want them to give us that sweet ad revenue that all these good YouTubers talk about, right? You might be saying, well, you got to be good to get that. That's where you're wrong. You don't. You see, there has to be a variety and a yin and a yang for everything, right? You might be saying, what does this have to do with the top 5 YouTube? And right now, nothing. We understand if you're totally frustrated and feel like it's been clickbait, but we do have this much coffee left, so there's a chance we might touch on the top 5 YouTube, right? But that's so subjective, it could mean anything, right? And we also want to preface something a little bit before we get into the, the dynamics of a good content, right? There inherently, all right, is a way to go about how to phrase this tactfully and diligently, which isn't the word we're looking for there. But there's a way to go about presenting the argument of everything that YouTube has as a blanketed, overall arching statement, right? Like the top 5 YouTube. But because that's so subjective, and because it can be so grandiose in scope and nature, inherently, we're willing to talk about the top 5 components and aspects that anyone feels like throwing in the chat of the box. Now, you might be saying, oh man, interacting with a a celebrity, that's what we call ourselves in the industry. You might be saying, what, you're a celebrity? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Well, I guess we have to finish, kind of breaking down what we had said. There's different types of celebrities. There's the good ones that make the good content you want to watch every time that it's available and on, right? That's not us. No, we call the Daryl Dixon Walking Dead dibs on being the best of the worst. So, inherently, we call dibs on that ground floor level. It's never going to get better. Well, objectively, it's never going to get better. It's going to be what it is. We're never going to put it behind a paywall. And the trade-off is that we kind of want YouTube's money. So, the top 5 ways to get it are really only a couple ways, right? Mute this and go to work. Mute this and go to sleep. Play any of our videos and do the same. We get the view. You don't have to watch it, and it's a win-win for us. Excellent. So, top 5 YouTube, you can pull all aspects, all components, anything from it, and say, where do you want to start? Well, we're going to start here. St. Patty's Day already. well, I don't think so. I think it already was that. If there's ever a Deltarune movie, you should audition for Spamton. Well, not only if there is one of those should we do it, but they should pay us to, right? I mean, should we, as professional worst celebrities, really have to audition for that role? No. Mm-mm. If Deltarune wants their movie to be any fucking good, they'll reach out to us. Hold on, management's calling. What do you want? We're on time. We're doing the show. Uh-huh. Well, they were talking about us auditioning. I don't care if we're under contract with their... Now, your studio pays us. We'll walk. All right. We'll see about that. All right, fine. All right, Lappin' Knight. This movie thing better come true because we just pissed off management. If we get shit canned from this, it's your fault. And believe you me, it's not ours. Anyhow, where were we? Ah, yes. The U of the tube, right? You might be saying, top five. This guy lied, right? No. We wanted to preface, though, and say that there are so many iterations and versions of top 5, and whilst we might get laywayed on the sidelines, interacting with, those of you that deserve it most, right? We understand that you don't get to have celebrities talk to you on a very regular basis. It's only when we choose to grace you with our presence. You might be saying, well, yeah, where are those good celebrities? Okay, we already told you they're sleeping in, okay? They deserve to get a break from you clawing at all their content, okay? That's where we step in and fill the niche. You might be saying, what niche is that? The avoid at all cost niche? Yeah, possibly. For many, obviously. But there are sometimes people just need something playing for a cat in the house. And it's like, hey, put on one of our videos, go to work. You don't got to hear it. Granted, you might come home to a spawn of demon Satan, but inherently, is that our fault or yours? Are you using Friskies or the other brand? Okay? That's not our fault. You might be saying, oh, you indoctrinated our cat. It scratches the shit out of me now, right? No. That's probably inherently your fault. So, anyhow, all of you joining us now should have gotten your coffee from Starbucks by now because we've been doing this for 13 minutes. So, the other half of you obviously are still in line, but we're so glad that one or two of you have gotten your order. So, anyhow, let's see, before we go a little further, LMFAO, dude, keep it up. You know, Chris, if we were to keep it up, talking about people in line about Starbucks, we take it that's what you were referencing there, obviously, even though you sent it minutes ago and we're just reading it now, obviously you were like, this dude needs to keep it up talking about these Starbucks lines moving slow. And it's like, Chris, can we call you Chris? Of course we can. So, K-Money, when people are in Starbucks, right, you sit there, you wait, you see the flies buzzing around inside the display case, right? You might be saying, like, those aren't flies, those are employees. And you're probably right. Chris, you're probably right. The flies probably are employees at a plethora of restaurants, and Starbucks should be no different. They probably hire them to ensure quality freshness ingredients are delivered on a regular recurring basis. Nothing keeps a product fresher than eating the crusty exterior that's been exposed to the elements for days on end. So you employ the flies to nibble the crusty hard parts away. Customer gets a good product. You don't lose out on the food costs. It's a win-win-win. Customer comes down with a bunch of fly larvae in them. Yeah, that's a whole other story, okay? But, that has to be traced back and reported to, so many agencies. By the time anything comes of it, really, they're on to their next batch and their next group of employees, right? Anyhow, K-Money, we digress. It's supposed to be about top 5 YouTube. And if we're being honest, you set us back about 3 minutes with that entire rant that we went on. You might be saying, well, that's your fault, dude. It's your show. But, that's where you're wrong. It's not our show. It's YouTube's show. We want them to buy it from us, right? But they're not going to do that outright. So we got to get their, how do you say, on their payroll. And the only way to do that, they're not going to hire us. You don't want to see our resume. Do not rehire. Well, that's not on our resume. If it was, that's a bad thing to put on there. Don't put that on your resume. We learned that the hard way. Anyhow, K-Money, Chris, we can call you Chris, right? Yeah, of course we can. So, Chris, when you're making a resume, there's a couple iterations and varieties of ways you could do that. You could obviously write it yourself, like they did back in, the days they lied to us about having to go to college, right? It's like, no, college isn't a lie. Totally not a scam. Pay us back all that fucking money, right? Of course, yes, sir. Right away. Report me to the IRS, please, so that not only while I'm paying you, I can, pay other stuff too, right? Anyhow, that's beside the point. Chris, the point is that no matter what component or aspect of an element that you want to research, a topic that you want to find out about, a entertainment of the entertainment that you want to locate, okay? Where's that? I don't know. They've got to be on here somewhere. Someone find out who's streaming, put the link in the chat so we can all go watch it. Hell, I'll leave this playing in the background. Let's all pull up separate tabs. No one will be here. That's okay. Same quality content, right? Your life goes on. But that's beside the point. Chris, stop trying to make us leave the show. Management will get really mad then. We've already pissed them off. Let's talk YouTube. Let's talk top 5. Let's talk, the components of the fact that no matter where you point, no matter what direction you want to go, no matter what top 5 you want to get to, and like we said, whilst the episode is top 5 YouTube, we might not hit 5 points. It might be 3. It might be 6. We put 5 because it's generic and whilst, kind of clickbaity, it's so open. I mean, really, it says top 5 YouTube, right? It doesn't say anything else. Just top 5 YouTube, right? So, really, who can you be mad at except yourself? You clicked on it.
I told you, it's a misclick, did ya?
Well, clear your cache after you leave. Don't let the history browser hit you on the way out.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna subscribe.
Okay. I guess we'll have to sucker someone else into it.
I'm gonna tell him not to.
Damn it. Okay, you got us. Anyhow, what doesn't got us is YouTube asking what other content can we find, because no matter what you're looking for, inherently it's there. You want to know about some top 5 vacation spots? Guarantee you could search that and someone will pop up and tell you something about them, right? Not us. That's a good idea. We should do a video on that. We need to make something up, like Tahiti. We hear it's nice. Have you ever been? No. We hear it's nice. Top 5 vacation spot, right? Before you know it, you're 3 hours in, and you didn't learn anything. You're like, I still can't afford to go to fucking Tahiti, right? And it's like, well, you should have waited until later in the video when we talk about a staycation, right? That's our favorite kind. We can afford it. We do staycations all the time. Sometimes we even go out to a menu on these staycations. You might be saying, ho, stop flaunting your celebrity status in our faces. Sorry. We don't mean to look down on you, the viewers, because we're one of you, the viewers. We're just celebrities, right? That's the difference. And like we said, not good ones, obviously. You can't all be good. We got to set you up for success. If you don't see something like us, okay, and granted, it just has to be like us, right? It doesn't have to be us, okay? We want it to be us, at least on mute, while you go to work or while you go to bed, so we get the view, okay? That's the thing. It doesn't have to be us, but you need the yin and the yang. You can't have your Angry of the Joes and your Asmans of the Golds and your PewDiePie, right? Is that how it is? You can't have that unless you have crap, right? Now, obviously, obviously, inherently, there has to be a celebrity amount of crap and a celebrity amount of greatness. And like we said, we call Daryl Dixon dibs on the bare minimum bottom. We're the bottom of the barrel. We accept our place. We know our place. Everything you watch will be guaranteed to be better than this. You can go about your day and be like, I know what decisions in life not to make. But you know what? The one decision you will make is finding out what you want to watch next on YouTube. Because inherently, if you're here, we're here. And that's going to make you not want to be here. Like, shit, let me click off. Okay, fair enough. But what are you going to click off to? Here's another one of our videos, sucker! Ha ha ha! Oh, damn it. Delete my cache. We get it. Should have done that first before you clicked off. You're going to keep finding ours pop up all over. Got 4,000 videos. Not good ones. 4,000 of them. Sorry. Anyhow, the point is that you're going to be clicking off. You're going to be looking for something else on, most likely, YouTube. Okay? You can hit your Rumbles and your Bit of the Shoots and your other of the streaming services, right? Your D-Lives, your Twitches, okay? You can hit any of these other streaming services, but inherently, where do you end up coming back to? Where does all these content creators who, are like, we're going to stream on Rumble, which, thank you, by the way, looks like an opening in available streaming here, YouTube. We're waiting for those fractions of cents on all of our content, fractions of cents at a time. No one's going to pay for it. We got to get on your payroll, YouTube. Look, we're using your service. We're utilizing it. Oh, we wish you weren't. We got to make new terms and conditions. Not too late. Or not. Shh, don't tell them. Let's just sneak by and crawl on the ground, under the floor, ground floor level. Okay? We don't need to alert anyone. We don't need to jump to millions of subscribers in, 2 decades. We can do it in 4, if we're still around. Okay? If we don't trick you, we'll trick your kids. Shh, just kidding. Oh, just kidding. That's a crime. Hold on. We did invest in one thing around here. It's a communicator pin from Star Trek. And, it was obsolete, old tech for them. But on occasion, we got to use it to contact management and take care of some stuff. Give us a sec. Hey, management, call the booth. Usually takes a sec, and then they'll call in. But we got to take care of something real quick. Don't worry about it. It's at this point in time in the episode that we would like to apologize for last stream. Sorry about that. Anyhow, nope, there they are now. Hey, management, you better clear some shit with legal. I think we might have jacked something up and said something about some kids. Uh-huh. Well, that's your problem now. We reported it, right? Isn't that what you said, open door policy? Well, it doesn't matter who breaches the policy. You gotta fix it. Your management. God. They act like they want to get paid to do work, and then you give them some, and it's like, ugh. You make my job harder. You make my life more difficult. If I could fire you, I would. Well, contracts are a bitch, and they work both ways. Anyhow, you will go to YouTube, and you will click inevitably on a video, and it might rabbit hole you into a new area of study, a new area of interest. It might pique your interest to try a new hobby, learn a new skill. Maybe that lasagna you always wanted to make is easier to make than before because someone made a 30-second video telling you you can make it by adding these ingredients and doing this. And it's like, wow, if I had known lasagna could be made like this, I could have been doing it for years. It's like, where did everyone else learn? Well, as of recently, probably YouTube. Except for the ones who grew up in loving households, right? Come with Granny, we're gonna teach you to cook. Right? Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. It's very nice, right? Those who can relish and enjoy that shit. No one else should harbor any jealousy, animosity to it. Lifes are different, okay? If they were all the same, then, believe you me, everyone would be wearing the same pair of pants. You would never know which pair's yours when you go to the gym. Be like, hey, whose pants are these? And everyone would be like, I think those are mine. At the same time, in unison, it'd be like, damn it. They can't be all of our pants. Let's try them on one at a time. It's like, well, I wrote my name in mine. Suckers. Oh, it washed out. Well, anyhow, there's all sorts of ways to circumvent not being able to get them back. But the point is that lives are different. And YouTube provides the differences to accommodate those lives. Say you're trying to get some mechanical work done on an automobile that you really need to just get up and running because you gotta make it to work the next day because you got those bills. You don't want to pay them, but for some reason you're like, I guess I have to because credit cards are a contractual agreement between you and the creditor, whatever the reason is to get you to go do it. You're like, I gotta learn how to change this battery. I gotta learn how to change this alternator. Okay? Gotta learn how to drain the oil properly. Okay? The simplest of tasks, gotta learn how to change a headlight. I got a headlights out warning. If the cops pull me over in the next 2 weeks and I don't got that shit fixed, they're gonna road pirate me and take more of my money. What's a road pirate? Cops! Obviously. They drive on the road, right? They pull you over and they loot you. Yeah, you know, illegally. They're illegal road pirates. We're not saying that we don't like cops. We love you, cops, sure. But not all of you. Some of you are kind of mean. In fact, there's a couple that we could say are downright not nice. But we're not going to drop names, because inevitably that could be construed as slander. But we will say this, fuck you, Officer D. You know who you are.
He's never gonna see this.
Well, we don't care. It's in the ether, and fuck him. And Officer C. No, I'm sorry. Special Investigator C. The only thing special about you is how in-fucking-apt you are at your job. Now, like we said, we love other cops. Officer T.S., you're the best. Hell, my pappy was a pistol. I mean a cop. We don't have anything against the good ones. The good they provide. We just don't like the bad ones. But we get sidetracked. It's almost like we just went down an entire rabbit hole. You know who offers rabbit holes? YouTube. Top 5 rabbit holes you can get down. Cop videos. Conspiracy videos. And there's at least 3 more. We better think of them so that we technically hit a top 5 in this episode. And people don't inherently say, ah, shit, it was clickbait after all. I mean, hell, if that got you here, we're going to do it again, suckers.
No, you son of a bitch.
Sorry, we'll apologize next stream. The point is that, you know, the content exists. 3 more tops, you know. The top ways to prank something. The top 5 ways to grow a garden. And the top 5 ways to tell a story. Okay? Now, do all of those topics exist? Well, I don't know. But if you search them, something's going to come up. Or, sorry, we're not seeing any results. Well, damn it. I guess that is pretty much a niche perverted thing. Can't believe Pornhub didn't have that category. You know, we are innovators. Wait, hold on. Oh, shit. This isn't our OnlyFans stream. Sorry about that. Don't worry about it. YouTube. Nothing to do with Pornhub, right? No one was even talking about that. Anyhow, when you're streaming on OnlyFans and you're thinking to yourself, you know, what can I do to get my content out there? I mean, when you're streaming on YouTube and you're like, what can I do to get my content out there? Then, of course, you start thinking, clickbait, obviously. That's probably the best way. So, that's what you do. But it's not what we do. See, because we said we're doing top 5 YouTube. And such a generic blanketed term that we already talked about top 5 of something, so now we can talk about whatever we want. Now we're actually going to catch up to all of this ones of comments that have been coming in at a time. Jeez, we almost can't go back to the beginning of where it started. Oh, slow down. LMFAO, excellent. Well, LMFAO to you as well. We hope that you're having a great day. So, I guess when you think top 5 YouTube, when you think YouTube in general, you have to think of the top 5 aspects of why YouTube is great. Let's go over it. Let's make this content have some sort of relevance. Let's make it hone in and actually cross-reference with modern life. You said all lives are different, right? You said all upbringings are different, all interests are different. So talk about YouTube. Talk about why YouTube matters to have all those differences in it. Well, like we said, you're trying to repair a car to get to work because you don't got the money to pay a mechanic to do it. And believe you me, when Bob was helping you build your shed and he lost his arm, he's not really willing to go start digging around your, engine of your old-ass vehicle. Thanks anyway, Bob. High five. The point is that, you gotta resort to the available means of being able to continue doing what you need to. So you're going to search on the YouTube because you know that one of the top 5s is inherently themselves those how-to videos. How to change a light bulb, how to change a flat tire, how to cook lasagna, how to tie a tie. Okay? The videos are out there, the content is out there to accommodate those top 5 things one may need to do. You might be saying, it's super generic, there's other entities that have it, that do it, there's terms and conditions that must be abided by, community guidelines that people do find fault with on occasion, that, the content itself might be lacking in many areas because inevitably any Joe Schmo, even those that aren't professional bad celebrities like ourselves, okay, they take a stab at it and it's like, God, we're better than Shyzabox, yeah, but you're not a celebrity. Hey, your content can be better than ours, doesn't mean you're a celebrity. The celebrities are out there, they're up there, you know who they are in your lives. Okay? Now, we're a celebrity too, and you're like, well, what? You just told that other dude that their content's better than yours and they're not. Well, yes, because we called Daryl Dixon dibs on being the worst, the best of the worst here. That's us. We called dibs. Everyone's content's supposed to be better than ours. Obviously, it's how it's designed. Needless to say, you find the top 5s that you need to do. You find the components of those that you need to break down. Top 5 how-tos. You're changing or working on your vehicle. Okay? You got a leak under a sink. You need to top 5 some plumber work. You need to change an air vent in the bathroom. You can't afford to get an electrician out to it, and your ma says, if you gotta live in the basement, you better earn your keep. Well, fine, Ma! I'll YouTube that shit! And then, lo and behold, there are genius content creators out there, the heroes of society, that don't go around their daily life saving lives. They make one video that's 30 seconds long that makes all the difference in the world to someone that is having the entirely worst day possible. I woke up late, missed my alarm. My car won't start. Turns out it's a piece of shit. Gotta change the alternator. Can't afford to get a mechanic out here. Gonna have to do that myself. I still gotta drop the loot on the part, but if I can do it myself, I might save myself a couple bucks. How do I do it? Better check YouTube. YouTube provides a service. YouTube provides the platform for, yes, unfortunately, individuals like us to grace the enter of the nets with our presence. You might be saying, yeah, and that's one of the drawbacks of them having such a monumental platform, such a grandiose modern marketplace for the minds to meet. They're not meeting here? Well, fair enough. But down one of the alleys, inside that broken shanty of a shack, all the way down the basement stairs that get you to the bottom of it, we're sitting there behind some cardboard boxes. And the content's there if you want it. We don't. Fair enough. Like we said, there's some content out there that you don't need, that is put on YouTube that does not pertain to you, right? Your how to dispose of 15 dead hookers, right? We realize that information isn't going to be pertinent to everyone's lives. But for those individuals who have 15 dead hookers lying around their property, just kidding, FBI. Only 12. Just kidding, FBI. For those that have 15 dead hookers lying around their property, you might need to YouTube some shit on how to get rid of 15 dead hooker bodies. Okay, you might be saying, well, YouTube's not going to allow that on the platform. It's against community guidelines. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that cleaning up messes was a good thing. But anyhow, that's a different point. That's probably a different episode. The point is that they go to YouTube to try and find out how. And sure, maybe that's not the best example to use, 15 dead hookers. Most households commonly have 3 to 5, okay? So 15 was a little exorbitant, a little out there. You're probably not going to find videos for 15. That's going to be on probably a different streaming service or apparatus, okay? That's beside the point. Like we said, hey bro, how are you? Well, Lyrics, we're good. Better now that you're here, you know. Lyrics, the thing is that we had a premonition, and we were thinking to ourselves, ironically, when we were writing Lyrics the other night, we were thinking to ourselves, you know, we're going to be doing this episode on the top 5 YouTube. And if there's one thing that we really don't want to do is start it until Lyrics gets here. And we didn't know what we meant by that at the time. You might be saying, what, this is our first interaction. I've never met you. But, you know, the thing is, Lyrics, we can call you Lyrics, right? Nah, of course we can. All right, so, L Money. The thing is that when you're sitting around and you're like trying to find some top 5 content, and you see something that says top 5 YouTube, and it's so generic and blanketed, you're like, well, let's see what this has to offer. In this case, Lyrics, it's pretty much not a lot. So, sorry about that. Anyhow, love you, bro. Well, thank you. We love ourselves, too. That's because everyone should love themselves. And on top of that, it's easy to fall in love with celebrities. That's right, even bad ones, like ourselves. But remember, we call dibs on being the best of the worst. Daryl Dixon Dibs from The Walking Dead. You ever see that, L Money? We can call you Lyrics, right? You ever see that, Lyrics? You ever watch Walking Dead? Well, you know, it's not the best show, but there's a lot of cool CGI special effects in it sometimes. Gotta be into zombies, if we're being honest. You know, Lyrics, zombie movies, zombie shows, okay, they come out all the time, okay? You're like, zombie movie, zombie show. Oh, here comes another zombie video game, okay? They attack you, They keep going. They steal your wallet. Get out my wallet, you son of a bitch. Get out my wallet. Yeah, give that shit back, right? They want your money. Bad zombie. Stay right there. You be a prop now. Hold on. Apprentice! Come watch this asshole. Make sure he doesn't steal anything. Get off our sign. We only trust the apprentice with it. So, alright, Lyrics, here's the thing. So, We don't know what you thought you were getting into, but now we're going to be talking about zombies for a minute, because we got one right here. Came back right from the dead to try and rejuvenate the episode. But you might be saying the episode's about top 5 YouTube. What does zombie have to do with top 5 YouTube? Well, let's name 5 top things that could surround zombies on the YouTube. Hold on, management's calling. What do you want? We're working for lyrics now. Uh-huh. Oh, who cares what the show's supposed to be about? Zombies. They sell sometimes. Maybe they're back hot on the market. If we elicit ones of views, it's going to be worth it. You want that view count, don't you? We'll get YouTube's money. You'll finally pay us. It'll be great. All right, that's what I thought. Lyrics, I don't know how management is where you work, but around here they think they run the place. And believe you me, if we waited around for them to have all these great ideas, we'd still be waiting. Because all they do is steal ours, pass them off. Be like, oh, look what we came up with. It's like, they got it from us. We don't care. We don't need the accolades. We don't need the credit. I mean, hell, we're celebrities. Not good ones. But, best of the worst, right? Everything else that you're going to watch today is going to be better, inherently. If you watch something worse, you probably shouldn't be watching it, okay? Unless you're watching one of our other videos. Our old stuff's really bad. Don't watch that. Actually do, but mute it and go to work, or mute it and go to sleep. But just the longer videos, really. The ones that we'll get view hours for, right? Anyhow, that's beside the point, lyrics. Let's get back to the show that you segued and hijacked, because we're trying to talk top 5 zombies. I mean, top 5 YouTube. All right, so, L-Money, the thing is that zombies, you can look at YouTube and say, let's dissect and pick the top 5 aspects and components of it that you can find and search out. Top 5, top zombie face paint videos, right? And then you can rank them. Top zombie movies. Top zombie games. Top zombie costumes for Halloween. And top zombie Halloween party treats. Okay? That's 5 things right there, lyrics, that inherently you can search out and create a top 5 on. And inherently, every single one of those, you could pick an entirely different video on, mainly because they're different topics, sure, but you could pick an entirely different video on 5 times, 5 different videos on each topic, and the list will not overlap. It won't intermingle. Sure, you might have to make an exception on 1 or 2 of your choices for top 5, but we guarantee you that the top 5 videos that do make any list out there, even the ones that account for others, okay, inherently, there is no way in hell any top 5 list that any creator anywhere has made that is viable and accounts for every iteration of whatever insert subject matter here it is about, okay? We can guarantee you that if a creator goes top 5 zombie makeup tutorials and they pull 5 zombie video makeup tutorials, they probably didn't watch all 1 million of them that exist. Now, they might pull the ones that have the most views, the ones that have the best reactions, the most comments, things of that nature, but inherently, does that make them one of the top 5 or one of the, top crammed down your throats, right? Now, say it is really good and they do a great job and it is one of the top 5. Excellent. There's so many components and aspects of a top 5 anything, and there's so many ways you can look at it and break it down that inherently when you say top 5 YouTube, we'll do the video for this whole entire episode right now. The top 5 YouTube is YouTube, 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 and us, right? You might be saying, how'd you make the list? Well, we don't know. I mean, shit, Same way all these other content creators' videos come out and somehow the videos that are on them are on them. We polled ones of individuals around here, and ironically, all the results were the same. Every single time we polled the same individual, the results were the top 5 YouTubes were YouTube, YouTube, Asmongold, YouTube, and YouTube. Wait a minute, that was that one count that was fucking wrong. YouTube, and us. Yeah, that's definitely the right one. That other one, don't worry about it. Like they need more views. Just kidding. He's great. We don't know him. You know, he makes good stuff. We watch it all the time. By all the time, whenever we do. Anyhow, Apprentice, get this zombie the fuck out of here. What are you doing on the desk? It's our show. Jeez Louise. You know, for some reason, Lyrics, we think that's your fault. But we're not going to hold it to you. You know, I guess inevitably, we're in control of the show, right? But see, that's where you're wrong, L Money. We're not. You are. We give more power to the viewers than the viewers probably realize they have. Not only do we let them pick any episode you want us to do, name a topic, that's what we'll do the next episode on. Might not be good, but power's in your hands. Put all your ideas in the chat. There's a good chance that we'll do it, especially if no other ideas come in. Nothing's easier than letting someone else do our work for us. And believe you me, we can pad out and regurgitate any type of shit. Now, doesn't make for necessarily a good watch, but it does make for those view hours, right? Inevitably, that's the plan. You might be saying, like, I don't like that plan. It involves me having to let your content stream on one of my devices or apparatuses. It's like, yes, we understand. You don't like getting regular visits from the feds, okay? But, I mean, you know, they have a right to follow up on anyone that gets mixed up with us, according to that court document. Now, don't worry about it. You'll love being here. Don't worry about it. You are big brand ambassador. Now, let's try and read that one again, this time appropriately and in the correct way that words are said. You are the big brand and world. I'm big fan, bro. Well, Lyrics, of course we are. And we know that you're a big fan as well. That's because everyone is, Lyrics. We're celebrities. Now, you might be saying, if that's true, where the hell's everyone else? And, you know, Lyrics, we're going to be honest with you. They're not here. And we're going to be honest with you again. It's because you're not doing your job. Your job is to make our job better and to make our lives better. You might be saying, well, why don't you reciprocate? Well, it's not why we're here, Lyrics. If we tried to make everyone's lives better, how would we improve our own, right? You might be saying, well, that's a selfish way to view the world. And you're right. It is selfish, Lyrics. But you know, the thing is that we're trying to figure out what the fuck to do with this college degree that all these assholes told us that we needed, that we spent tens of thousands of dollars on. Oh, you got off easy. Well, this was back in the day. Old school boomer college prices, right? We were only in the whole, like, fucking 80 grand total. I don't know. Maybe not exactly that. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. They told us we needed college, like, go, go, go. We told them the whole time through elementary school, middle school, high school. These C's and D's that we're getting indicate contrary to that. Are you sure we should go to college? Fucking yeah. Everyone needs college. You better go, Shyzabox. Okay, how am I going to afford it? Well, sign your name on the dotted line. Get that degree. Why don't you start as what do you want to major in? I don't know. You're saying I have to go to college? Yes, you have to go. It's right there. Go to college. It's in front of you. Well, fuck. I'll major in business management. I want to manage a business. Okay? That'll be tens of thousands of dollars, please. And turns out, Shyzabox, boy, do you suck at microeconomics. Macroeconomics you squeaked by in, but microeconomics, oh man. Turns out you got a D in that class. You're going to have to retake it next semester. You're going to have to pay us to do that. You should have studied harder in between working your 3 fucking jobs to go to college. Hell, our bad. Might as well change our major. So we did. And now we're figuring out what to do with our degree. So, here we are. This is what society wanted. Oh, man, we all gotta suffer. Blame society. Nothing new, right? Anyhow, let's talk a little more top 5s. Top 5 ways to enjoy your coffee in the morning. Complete silence. With a friend. sitting in traffic while it gets colder and colder because your air conditioner's blowing on it, but whoops, your air conditioner's broken and your coffee lid is cracked and you spilled that shit all over yourself, and that's that one. And then more. I don't know. Whatever. Anyhow, what were we talking about? YouTube? At some point we were. Doesn't matter. Let's talk additional top 5, okay? The top 5 reasons that people return to YouTube, okay? Reason number 1, it has inherently everything you could possibly look for in the most clear, concise, reputable manner. Okay? Now there might be some clickbait videos on how to change your tire, and you end up watching 18 of them of people starting off with a bunch of nonsense that you don't need to know when you're just trying to get to, what do I got to do this? Okay? But after you watch that 18th video, when you hit that 19th one, and you're like, this dude had better teach me something, and they do, you're like, thumbs up, right? Because you taught me what I needed to know. You search for the content, it's there. Okay? That's one of those top things about it. No matter what that content is you want, inherently you'll be able to find an iteration of it. Okay? Like we said before about jumping down rabbit holes and things of that nature, you can get waylaid talking about all sorts of things. Seeing videos on all types of crazy stuff. Everything from aliens to history to science, technology, okay? You can learn about, developments in fields that aren't even a regular area of study or expertise for you, okay? Now, depending on what content you're watching and what aspects you're getting of that content, it might inherently create problems as far as longevity of its relevance, consistency in its, deliverance, and, I guess, correctness in its offerings and deliverings, right? Because inherently, if you get someone on there, okay, and we do disclaimers all the time, we don't have fact checkers here. We don't have the budgets of the Joe of the Rogans, the Tim of the Pools, okay? So inherently, when it comes to Shyzabox, a lot of it's just rooted in conjecture and conversation versus having to inherently be rooted in fact. But in order to alleviate that, we avoid the stating of facts and point you in the directions of where those facts can and should be and generally are. Okay? When we get on historical tangents talking about Göbekli Tepe, we point folks in the direction of the channel Bright Insight. When you get on the, topic of conversation, you want a Madden football review, well, there's only one place to go to get that. That's the Angry Joe Show. They got the best Madden reviews. So they're hilarious, okay? You might not like their content. You might not like their other offerings, things of that nature. But that's beside the point. They make the content. It's there. And if you want it, it might be right up your alley. It might be the most bestest thing you ever saw. Okay? And inherently, what makes it all better, what makes every single thing better that you encounter in your daily life, systems, and routines, it's coming here first. You're like, holy shit, things could be worse. And believe you me, some places they are. So, you turn those frowns upside down. You keep your day moving forward. You find out what top 5s are the most meaningful for you. You find out what you want to pursue for your next rabbit hole endeavor that you jump down. We've loved going on all sorts of tirades, right? We have spent hours upon hours. How do rabbit holes even start sometimes? Algorithms are crazy. You end up watching someone contest a traffic ticket in court, and all of a sudden you're seeing people fight cops. It's crazy. Or you start asking questions about some type of, event or something like that, and all of a sudden you're, watching a bunch of people discuss flat Earth theory and stuff like that. Are you a flirther or a globo? I don't know what the differences are. I mean, hell, we're historians. Okay, we got our degree in history. We minored in philosophy. That's what we're falling back on, obviously. So that's where the bread and butter is. Because as historian majors, history majors as they call it, before launching our celebrity status, career, all of history that we feel we have been taught and has been given to us, we've read, we found out about over the course of our entire lives, the timeline is wrong, history is a lie, and we have been lied to very, 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 very much. Okay? Now, you might be saying, back it up with facts. And again, the only fact that throws the entire timeline out of its timeline status is that little city called Göbekli Tepe. Older than Stonehenge by thousands of years. Okay? It's a little different from what we've been told. So, that's what we got for you today, mainly on the top 5 of the YouTubes. We, of course, will still be here for a minute, sipping on the rest of our coffee. Feel free to interact with a real-life internet celebrity. Not a good one, but one nonetheless. Sometimes you just have to start your day and be like, I was sitting around, I was done waiting my 57 minutes in line at Starbucks to get my cup of coffee, right? And you're like, well, fantastic. And I got to interact with a real-life celebrity, and people be like, what? What celebrity did you meet? Was Keanu Reeves in Starbucks line for 57 minutes waiting on his order too? Like, no. Not a good celebrity. That dude, Shyzabox, on the internet. Like, oh, does he do top 5 videos? Be like, oh, he suckered us on one. I don't even think there was a top 5 anything in it. Top 5 reasons I regret watching it, really. But somehow, life. And there you go. So you might be saying, what the hell does that have to do with anything? And when you think about it, probably nothing. But what it does have to do with is the fact that we were saying, we'll sit around and drink this shit if you want to ask us any questions, okay? Or we know some of you are shy. We, on occasion, let the general viewers do this. After all, there is no cost of admission to get here. But we'll let you touch us through the internet. Just for a minute, briefly. There you go. Now that should get you set up on the right path to success for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, we will have to dip our hands in bleach after the show. But that's the price that we pay for, bringing you that internet contact that you don't get in other channels, okay? We know Asmon of the Gold isn't like, hey, reach in here and rub my head for luck, okay? One day, maybe. Us here. But, for now, we're trying to build up our tolerance to let not celebrities interact with us, so the chat box allows that to occur. If you want us to do a certain episode on a certain topic, feel free to throw it in now. Otherwise, we're finishing this. We'll be dip setting, and we'll come up with our own. Because while we love other people doing our job for us, we'll come up with something and do it for ourselves. You can only take so much credit for other people's work. And believe you me, you give us the idea for the show, your name goes in the chat box. And by chat box, we mean description. And by description, we mean title. And on occasion, the thumbnail when we remember. But definitely usually the title, and if we miss it, we'll go back and rectify it when you point it out to us. Be like, hey, I told you to do that episode on GTA 6. It's like the big JC. We already did the episode on GTA 6, and you're credited. Danny will be like, what about my episode on aliens? Well, Danny, it was a 2-parter. We're probably going to be a whole series because, let's be honest, lots of topic of conversation there, all sorts of directions. You made the thumbnail, Danny. The viewers here, like we said, we grant them certain powers that the bigger channels just can't accommodate. And by bigger ones, you mean, better ones. But what we can do is bring you the content that you feel you deserve in the manner that we deliver it, which, you might not deserve. No one really does. But you get it, and you tell people, like, I got this dude to make an episode on something. That sounds pretty cool. You're like, I got this dude to make an episode on grass, right? It's like, we will. Cows love to eat grass. You think we can't pad out an entire episode? You think we haven't faked our way through life till to get to this point enough to where we could do an episode on something like grass? Well, we absolutely could. But, the thing is that on occasion, we have gotten some suggestions that just aren't fun for us. And those ones we really don't like to do. So if someone suggests those, usually we'll be like, oh, man, we'll do it if you really want us to, but not one of our favorites. But like we said, we can obviously take care of it on our own if there's not a certain topic you want clarification on, or if you want to take to the next level, then we'll take it to the next level for you, unbeknownst to yourself. And believe you me, that's okay. That's what we're here for, okay? You don't have to chime in. You don't have to request what the next episode's going to be on. That's because the next episode is going to be on something. So there you go. Fantastic. Well, we're going to chug this. And like we said, if you feel like getting out of here before us, now's your chance. Otherwise, we're going to flip the lights, lock the door. If you get locked in here, it smells kind of bad. But, that's your business. Don't steal our shit if you do get locked in. Please. Now, whatever. It's not like we'll miss it, I guess. You'll just be bogged down by it instead of us. There's not a lot of resale. No, maybe. Anyhow, we'll finish this now. Feel free to interact, or feel free to depart before we do, because we're going to be leaving very soon. We don't like leaving before everyone else. Feel you're going to touch stuff on the desk. Get your fingerprints all over stuff. Even when we get the apprentice to guard it. Apprentice, get in here! Even when we have the apprentice guarding it, it's like people just don't know boundaries. They don't respect limits. They don't something. I don't know, whatever. Coffee time. Ah! We got to start drinking that way faster than we do. Believe you me. It gets cold and it gets not delicious. Apprentice, people showed up. Get out of here. It's our show. Ah, good. The apprentice got you here. Suckers. We're ending the show. It's almost done. But you got a chat you want to add. Go ahead. No? Yes? No? All right, then we'll do the next show. All right, apprentice, get back in here. Oh, shit. People better not show up again, though, saying like, oh, Darth Vader, cool. No, he's our apprentice. You don't call him by name. That's a copyrighted trademarked image. That's not DV. That's apprentice. Obviously. He owns our shit. All right, apprentice, get out of here. Excellent. Anyhow, that's all we got for you today. You might be saying, well, you shouldn't have had anything for us. Well, fair enough. Too late now. But we're going to be leaving. So, we see that where you've been standing has been mushing down our grass just a little bit too long. It's causing some discoloration and it to bend in directions we don't want it to. So, we don't want your subscription. We want your money. So downvote the shit out of this and give us a buck. Get off our lawn.